I'm sure you've heard about it. It's taking place on April 22nd down in Springfield. And as Brother David said, that last year there were 55 people that went from ISNS, and I hope, inshallah, that we can really increase that number to at least 100 this year. It's open to all kids. You know, if you have high school kids, please encourage them to attend for that one day. It's a great opportunity to really be in the Capitol, see how our daily lives are from 7 a.m. till midnight, you know, constantly running from one state hearing to the next, you know, meeting with state agency directors and their other liaisons that we have. We have numerous programs in the state that I think the community can take great advantage of. I'm trying to create that, not the transition, but the link between the state agency programs and with the various mosques and community centers we have around the state. How the governor's office works, or our state function, is the governor's office is on the top. We pretty much monitor and direct every program, policy, budget in the entire state of Illinois, aside from the Attorney General's office, who's a separate entity, the Secretary of State, and the State Treasurer's Office and the State Comptroller's Office. Each of them have their own regulations that we work hand in hand, but when it comes to state agencies, that the governor's office we have jurisdiction of. Those agencies consist of the Department of Human Services, Department of Children and Family Services, Department of Transportation, and the list goes on. Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and such. So pretty much we have the last say in it, and it's a really important role that I'm here because I can really reach out to the community and bring those issues to the top officials in our state government. So please always, if you have an idea about a program or how we can be involved as a community, if you hear it on, you know, if you read it online or in the paper, please contact me. I'll leave my email address and see how we can work together on that. So one of the main programs I wanted to talk to you about, which is a pilot run that we're doing here in the state, is the Neighbor to Neighbor project. And the focus of this is to encourage limited English proficient individuals living in the state to achieve higher literacy rates and to be more integrated into our workforce here. Our unemployment rates are rising in the state, and primarily what we're noticing with the immigrant population is that we have a lot of skilled and educated workers, but they are not being placed in their appropriate job training due to just not having the proper access or information into how to, you know, for resume building, interview skills, and getting their education and their professional experience translated into the U.S. System. So we also have, so the project that we have is the Neighbor to Neighbor, where I was talking to my mom, I'm sure you guys all know her, about the ESL project that ISNS is starting. And so we have the state funds and we have the capacity to work with ISNS to provide the actual English training, the training model that we're using, and we're choosing specific communities to work with. And we don't actually have an Urdu or Hindi ESL project in place. We have
Keep going. Go ahead.
Okay. So, and that's something I'll talk to you about more, whoever is responsible for that, to kind of make sure that we can bring that project here. We'd probably be working with Schaumburg Library also to see if all of the mosques or any of the local area mosques would be interested in bringing more students.
The microphone.
Is it the So when I was talking about the skill development project, it's called Upwardly Global. And if you want to, you feel free to go onto upwardlyglobal.org, and I can bring pamphlets and information how you can sign up for this. And this is the job training that I was talking about, where we have a lot of qualified individuals in our community who just aren't being matched to their proper skill level. So what this organization does, and the state provides 75% of the funding, is we take we have larger summits where we have employers meet their employees that are job seeking. We provide the skill development, the interviewing skills, resume building, and then try to get some mock interviews set up with the actual employers. So the main ones we've been focusing on are Boeing, Motorola, Baxter, and there are a few others also with that. I think Sarah Lee as well. So, and I think this is a great opportunity, not just for the immigrants, but just for individuals that sometimes we get thrown into the wrong coursework, in terms of what we're doing and try to get back on track. And a lot of these positions are training for corporate level and engineering and such. So that's definitely another project I think is beneficial for our community. And just talking a little briefly about, we're not going back to now Muslim Action Day. The importance of this is just how many people know how many state legislative districts we have? Anyone? No. Okay, we have 69 state legislators who work in the General Assembly that are representing us and our voice. I believe for this area is Representative Paul Froelich, and his term is up in January, and there's, another candidate going for that position. And we have 50 senators, state senators. So, does anyone know who your local senator or representative is?
Of course.
You do? Okay. Well, we have two people that do. So, this is really important information because these are the people that are down in Springfield representing us. These are the people making decisions on our behalf. And it's very, very important that we meet them, know them, and have a say in bringing them to office and have a say in the decisions that they're making. Because not always are they inclusive of our needs and our issues that we have. And what we're going to do with Muslim Action Day is that we have each of you in your constituent areas meeting with your appropriate state legislator and your state representative, your state senator. And if you have any questions or anything that you want to specifically talk to them about, please, we can work here at ISNS and try to have our own talking points when we go to meet them that are specific to ISNS and then also specific to your own personal residential areas and whatever that happens to be. And, okay, so we have our state legislators, we have our state senators. Does anyone know who the Speaker of the House or here is in the General Assembly or our Senate President? Michael Madigan is the Speaker. Anyone state our Senate President? Cullerton. Okay, so, and the reason I'm bringing this up because they are our major decision makers in the General Assembly. If there is a piece of legislation that we are passing, it is eventually going to go to them. And they're going to push for it and they're going to push against it. And it's very important that we also kind of work with their staff. And actually in our Senate President, John Cullerton, he has a Muslim sister who's been there for almost 30 years down in Springfield. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her sister, Nia Hassan. And I've been working very closely with her to identify certain bills that are passing through the House and the Senate right now that are going to apply very specifically to our community that can really benefit us. So we're in the process of creating a legislative agenda for Muslim Action Day, and we will have that information available within the next week or two, inshallah, so you can review it and kind of know what bills there are right now. A lot of them are focusing on domestic violence, aging, and healthcare. There's a few immigration bills, but we're trying to not be too involved with the immigration side because a lot of us are not immigrants, and we need to kind of identify ourselves as just Muslims. So I encourage you also to go on, I'll give all of these website information to Brother Java that he can forward them to you, but our ILGA website, our Illinois General Assembly website that has every bill that's passing through the House and the Senate, and research them and kind of see which bills are of interest to you, and then forward me them so that we can kind of